Hi guys, it's Quinn here. If you appreciate my content, you can help out tremendously by clicking the like button so that the YouTube algorithm recognizes when I upload videos. So, in the midst of the information that the Dune movie is being postponed several weeks, and this is the third postponement, Apple TV has decided to release the second Foundation trailer. Now, as some of you guys may know, I was really excited about the first trailer that they came out with because I'm a huge fan of the Foundation books by Isaac Asimov. They are classic science fiction books, and they laid the groundwork for the idea of the Galactic Empire. That is something that Asimov invented with his creation of the Foundation series, and he also expanded upon it in his Galaxy series and also the Robots series. But Foundation is really the central core of where that all started. So I was very excited to see that it was being adapted, and it was being adapted with a budget. Now, we got the first trailer, and it really didn't show us exactly what we would be seeing in this first season, I guess. And the reason that's important is because if you've read the Foundation series, then you know that it doesn't really stay in the same time for very long. Like, each section is skipping decades and decades into the future because it's about the rise and fall of a galactic civilization. And really, Foundation is not the first series that you think of when you think of what could be being adapted as far as classic science fiction. Foundation is not on the list because it doesn't seem like something that's very adaptable. So, and the first trailer didn't give us really a clear idea of what exactly, which parts of the book they were adapting and what they were embellishing. But now that the second trailer has come out, we get a clear picture of the things that are being embellished and added to the story, as well as things that they are taking from the story and expanding upon. So basically, from the look of the trailer, it looks as though this first season of the Foundation series, at least, is going to be about the fall of Trantor itself, which is something that's not actually depicted in the book. So you have the beginning opening, we have Gail Dornick, and you have Harry Seldon on the planet Trantor, and they're petitioning the Emperor and to start the Foundation because they know through mathematical psychohistory that the Empire is headed towards a decline and essentially a crash. And Harry Seldon has a plan to save it. So it gets pretty complicated from there, but essentially the book kind of ends at that first section with Harry Seldon being allowed to make the Foundation, which is basically explained to the Emperor as a place where people will go to write down everything in the universe ever, like the history of the entire universe, the Encyclopedia Galactica, so that they will be able to keep all the information in the universe, and that will be the way of maintaining the history of humanity and ensuring the survival of the Empire, essentially. But that's not Harry's actual plan. His real plan is actually way more complicated, and we're not going to get into that, but that's the essential gist of what he's setting up for the Emperor. So looking at this show, it is definitely taking some liberties with the story. It is definitely borrowing, in my opinion, from the work of Frank Herbert in several ways. I'm getting some Tleilaxu vibes with the genetic engineering that seems to be a part of the show that's not in the books. And I'm also getting a Dune vibe with this whole family structure that they're setting up with the leader of the Empire now, because that's not really a thing in the original Foundation book. We don't see the Emperor's family. It's not about them. It's not about the characters. So it seems here that they're pulling all. I don't mean to scare you, but they're pulling kind of a Game of Thrones thing where they're going to focus on different groups of people, and we're going to center the story around the time in which Trantor fell. Now, I've already done a breakdown of the canonical lore involving the fall of Trantor, and you can check out that video. It should pop up here. But I have to say, as far as things that are written, as far as narratively involving what happened during that time, there is not much from Isaac Asimov. So I imagine that this show will be it's leaning a lot on these writers to write what happened during the time, which we pretty much expected, because the story, to adapt it, you have to make some pretty significant changes to the flow of the story, and you're gonna have to add things to beef up certain sections. That's the only way really that you're gonna get audiences to connect with it in TV show form. So I understand why they're making some of these changes. And I also understand from like a business standpoint why they're taking some beats from Dune. They know that Dune kind of has like this cult following. Like there's never been a Foundation movie made before. In the way that Dune doesn't have the same cultural influence that something like Star Wars has, even though Dune is older and was something that's an influence on Star Wars. Foundation does not have the influence that Dune has, even though Foundation is something that's older and was an influence on Dune. So honestly, I understand why they're taking some of those beats from Dune, and I'm not really mad about it. I knew the Foundation book would have to be embellished to be adapted, and they would have to add some things, and at least they're adding some cool things that I actually enjoy conceptually anyway. Now, visually, the show looks great. The CGI looks really good. The costumes are impressive, I think. Just the whole general aesthetic of it is beautiful. And I really enjoyed the sound design of the trailer as well. I hope that the show has a similar sound design. Now, I have seen a couple of shows on Apple TV, who is the production company behind this TV show or miniseries or whatever it's going to be. I think I don't know how many episodes exactly it'll be. So I have seen a few Apple TV things. Some of them have been not so great, and others have been pretty good. For instance, C, I thought had some pretty high production values. So if that is the standard being set, then I think as far as production quality goes, this show is pretty set. Now, as far as like the writing of the show, will it be good? I have no idea. I just have to see it. I have no idea if the writing is good or not. But if they follow in the basic tenets and ideas that Asimov put forth in the Foundation books, then I see no reason why this couldn't be an enjoyable experience for fans of the book series and people that are not fans of the book series, people that just want to enjoy an interesting sci-fi story. And also, as always, my hope with something like this is that it will be good enough that it will bring people to the books, right? And even if it's not great, it'll still probably bring people to the books because that always happens. So as long as this gets people interested in classic science fiction and these really cool ideas, then I'm all for it. And honestly, I'm just happy to be alive in a time where I can see Asimov's Foundation and Frank Herbert's Dune being adapted with huge budgets and a lot of effort put into it, and to be adapted by people who seem to understand the material very well. I mean, I know definitely that Denis Villeneuve and his team behind Dune really get Dune and what it means, and I hope that the people behind Foundation really understand what Foundation is and what Asimov was trying to say with the Foundation series. So as long as they do that, then I mean, it can't hurt, can it? So I don't want to make this video too long. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't seen the Foundation trailer, I will leave a link for it in the description. It is pretty sick. Make sure you like and subscribe for more Quinn's ideas. And if you want more lore on the Foundation books, I have plenty of it on my channel. You can check the playlist link to the Foundation videos that I've made in the description of this video. Peace out, guys.